Hi, honey. Even as she fumbled for her cell phone, Lacey Simone bobbed her head to the beat of the music. You are my weakness. You could be my disappointment. Hi, sweetie. How was your flight? Did you all check in? Blurted out the beautiful blonde, smiling. Hi, sweetie. The flight? The flight was horrible. We hit a turbulence zone over Ohio. I thought I was going to get whiplash, I swear, Glenn Simon Jr. shouted in her ear. So where are you? You have the day off today, right? Yeah, thank God, Lacey agreed. Hey, did you at least kiss me goodbye this morning? I woke up, and you were like a pecan. Well, you must have had a lot to drink last night. Glenn grinned in her ear. I hope you weren't driving like that. Those bachelorette parties of yours. But yeah, I kissed you. You did? You don't remember any of that? Glenn, you didn't, Lacey giggled. Okay, what are you doing right now? Making those roasted pepper wraps Sharon told me about. See, you take corn tortillas. I use flour tortillas. I hate corn tortillas. They just fall apart. And you take some roasted red peppers and some caramelized onions. Thank goodness PC Nation doesn't charge us by the minute, Glenn muttered to himself as his wife told him the recipe, step by step and ingredient by ingredient. Don't tell Sharon, Lacey whispered into the phone. But I add bacon. She might be a vegetarian, yeah, I know meat is so unhealthy, but still. Thack, Glenn wheezed into the phone. What are you wearing? Glenn, Lacey giggled again. Naughty boy. Glenn was sure she was twirling a strand of her knee-length white hair, clutching the cell phone between her ear and shoulder. Her pale pink lips curved in a mischievous smile, exposing fine white teeth. Her blue eyes scrutinized the bacon as she cooked it. Lacey loved thick-cut bacon, especially the flavor of ground black pepper. The Burns & Burns Grocer's grocery store on Highway 19 didn't always have thick-sliced black pepper bacon, so when she had the opportunity, Lacey always picked up two 12-ounce packages. She would freeze one and immediately open the second and make a dish with the meat. Tack! I put on these black cropped shorts, the ones with the low rise. Lacey hummed. If Lacey had any flaws, it was her short, stocky legs. Her skin was ghostly pale. She didn't tan, she burned. The black denim shorts she described exposed her pale legs and showed off an almost obscene amount of her plump buttocks. When she bent over in the shorts, the curls of her blonde hair were pushed to the sides, showing that she was indeed a natural blonde. And my ass is all sticking out, Lacey continued to wheeze into the phone. Oh, this skin is so cold. You know I have to sit on a bar stool in these shorts. I prefer plastic chairs. Vinyl ones, Glenn corrected. And I put my hair in two ponytails. You know how much you like it when I do it that way, Lacey continued. Glenn heard something scraping and assumed she was taking bacon out of the frying pan. Yes, he liked it when she gathered her long blonde hair into two ponytails. The one time he'd stepped back and called them copicles. Lacey had immediately unraveled her hair, giving him a searing glare. It was 3 months before she started styling her hair like that again. And I wore a Cabrini High School t-shirt that said, Go Cavaliers. Go Defenders, Glenn said, smiling. Glenn didn't know how tight the t-shirt fit when Lacey Peterson attended DeGard Catholic High School in DeGard, Louisiana. But 7 years after graduation, the t-shirt fit her breasts like a second skin. Numerous washings had made the t-shirt quite thin. Her pale pink breasts were clearly visible through the material. When she was excited, it was noticeable how her whole body wrinkled. When she pulled the hem of her shirt down, the shadow of her navel could be seen through the fabric, but most of the time, the hem would scuff up on its own, exposing her 26-inch waist and adorable little belly button. Do we have balsamic vinegar? Apple cider vinegar must be good, huh? Lacey asked. Just bought this big bottle of it 2 weeks ago, said Glenn. Oh yeah, but I think I'd rather try apple cider vinegar, said Lacey. So, where are you? Glenn asked. I'm in the kitchen, said Lacey. What? You think I'm cooking all this in the living room? In our kitchen? Yes, of course. Where else would I? Said Lacey. Really? Because I'm standing right here in our kitchen and I don't see your cute ass or anything else anywhere, said Glenn. What? Lacey shrieked. No, you have that conference in, what's that? New Jersey. I told you we hit a turbulence zone and were rerouted, and that would have put us 5 hours behind, so I just decided screw it and came home. Glenn, I can explain, Lacey babbled. It didn't mean anything. It's just, I ran into him last night at the Vermilion and— April 1st, Glenn whispered, flopping back onto the hotel bed. But I guess the real fool is me, huh? He cut the conversation short and lay staring at the ceiling. Why did all the motels have such ugly ceiling tiles? The ones directly overhead even showed water drips. He was supposed to say he was in their kitchen, and she'd turn around and say she couldn't see him. Then he'd say April Fool Day, and they'd both laugh. But her shrieking and mumbling that he wasn't supposed to be there interrupted him. I guess I'm the fool, Glenn thought tiredly. His cell phone rang. It was a dial tone from his wife. He lay still while Goldfrapp's lovely 2CU played. A moment later, the song faded as the call went to his voicemail. A knock sounded. Glenn rose tiredly to his feet and opened the door. Ronnie Edwards, his immediate supervisor, stood holding a wheeled suitcase in one hand and a bag of clothes over his shoulder. Glenn stared at him blankly. You're not going to believe this, Ronnie said. The conference was canceled. Not enough people signed up. Great, only great. Glenn sighed. Just as Glenn was about to close the door, Ronnie smiled broadly and said, April Fool's Day. Hey, meet me downstairs in the living room in 30 minutes, okay? Patrick, Turner, and Jeff are already there. They said there's a steakhouse we just have to visit for lunch. Glenn's wife's ringtone played again. Glenn nodded his head and closed the door. He wondered if a shower would help him feel more human, or if he should take a nap. The early morning flight had been pretty rough, and he was feeling sleep-deprived. 30 minutes, Ronnie shouted through the closed door.